So it looks like Abba and Preach have another video getting at Fresh and Fit. I just saw it come up on my timeline. Let's go through it together.
The guys who watched the Wednesday show of Fresh and Fit, you guys remember Stephanie Palomares was getting dunked on by the chat the entire show.
Yep.
And I asked Stephanie Palomares, I said, Stephanie, before the show, I need you to screenshot how many OnlyFans subscribers you have. And then afterwards, I need you to tell me how many you have 24 hours later.
Should we all do that right now?
Yes. I think,
I already did it.
I think all of you should do that. Now, here's what happened. I've never seen a girl get dunked on more than this girl on Fresh and Fit ever. Like the whole chat was just on her the entire time. She got 1,200 paying subs in 24 hours. Guys, hold on. For those of you who can't do math because you went to public school, that's $12,000 a month. That's $144,000 a year for sitting there for 2.5 hours getting dunked on by the chat. And she wrote me later and she was like, yeah, it's totally worth it. I would do it again. That's what she told me. Just so you guys understand, this is what I'm seeing, because I'm trying to be objective here. I am seeing women say delusional things about the men they're attracted to on this show, and then I see men calling them 304s, and then I see these same women ending up with thousands of new Instagram or OnlyFans subs. So you guys instead in the chat, instead of coming after me and Rolo, you need to be coming after other dudes in the chat and asking which one of you motherfuckers is sitting there saying this shit and then subbing to these girls. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with subbing to these girls. What I am saying is there's something wrong with calling them whores and then subbing to their OnlyFans. That's something that is fucked up.
That's Kinder.
You know what's crazy about that is that I have not seen the stream that she was on, but let's say that it had 20,000 people within the live chat. So if she got 1,200 people to sign up, that's 15-ish% sign up rate. That is absolutely insane, especially considering how much of a woman that looks like her gets dunked on their platform. Let's keep going though.
The garden thing, whenever the little guy is pulling on the hair of a girl he likes, it's just that he evolved to dunking on a girl and hiding behind a screen. Nobody sees you, so you dunk on that girl. Oh, you this, you that, you that, you that. You say it out loud. It's funny. It makes the guy laugh. But then after that, you're gonna sub to her. It's just like back in my days, whenever there was dudes dunking on fat girls. Oh, this and that, whatever, whatnot. They were the same dudes like going in disguise, fucking trying to ask them out or whatever, whatnot, and hold hands and chill with them. And then when the other guys show up, they were like, yo, don't hold my hand. That's the same dudes.
I've never seen that particularly happen. Preach, I can't rock with you there, my brother. Those that talked ish about the big girls back in the day are those who continued not to mess with the big girls. But, you know, maybe he's got his own stories.
That's the same dudes. They're going to say all this shit, but then next up, they're going to be like, yeah, this and that.
Because people always ask the question, why would these women go on this podcast and get hated on all this stuff?
Because it's lucrative.
Some of them make a lot of money from it.
They understand the game. It's a game to them.
Yes.
It's like you don't understand how
most of those guys who say that stuff to those women actually just really feel negatively about themselves.
Yeah.
And they just project it outwardly onto the women. But if those women even showed them a modicum of attention, you know they would turn into simps so fast.
Yeah.
So they're doing all these fucking whores, The girl's like, hi, like, hello?
they don't understand it.
Man.
Yeah, and the thing, you know, I've talked about this specifically in regards to how much of the content that you guys are looking at is for entertainment purposes only. And it's not to say that what Fresh and Fit only creates is for entertainment purposes, but that late night show is an entertaining show. You can get education from Myron regarding red pill, female nature, yada, yada, yada. But we all cannot sit up here and lie and not say that some of the most entertaining parts of the show is to watch the dumbass women being dunked on with their OnlyFans thought logic, with their She-Hulk woke, I'm a woman, hear me roar, I can never be held accountable type bullshit, and watching Myron or whoever dunking on them is super entertaining. So it really makes you think, if Fresh and Fit is not paying them, why are they still coming up on? Well, it's a business opportunity.
What happens is that you can call all these girls whores and this and that and whatever, whatnot, and the third. The difference is that they understand that it's a business.
Yup.
So whenever you go into that high value.
And the thing is I'm not sure if it's necessarily a bad business, because inevitably Fresh and Fit get what they want, the audience get what they want, and the bimbos get what they want. So it's like everybody is making out within this dance, and maybe the only person that's not making out is the young fellow that is watching the content thinking that he can conduct conversations like that in reality.
You shit and you don't make money and stuff like that and flaunt it to a bunch of girls. Basically, I said this shit before, all right? If you try to attract girls with cheese, you're gonna end up with rats. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what's going on. You're gonna attract them with all the cheese, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, that's a hoe. All she wants is my money. That's what you showed her. And that's the game. So you're gonna have a bunch of hustlers that are gonna get for the money.
And that's the kind of women you go after.
It's fine. And then you're gonna go younger to get another one. It's a cycle. When that girl is gonna get to a certain age, you're gonna dunk her. You're gonna dump her. You're gonna be like, yeah, you know what, whatever, whatnot. I'm gonna get myself a younger one. But it's you creating the cycle. Basically, what you guys are doing is creating the cycle that you're shitting on. But when you're shitting on that, you're really just fertilizing that shit. You're encouraging other men to shit on that cycle, and then they do the same thing. Same guys are gonna call you this and that. That's like the New York paradox. Whenever you walk in New Brooklyn and stuff like that, yo, hey, yo, ma, giving you mad attention is just a reverse of that. They shit on you first, and then when everybody on all the homies is gone, they're gonna sub because the girl is not gonna be able to know who's who and who did what, and he's gonna be able to see pussy pictures.
I mean, I get the argument, but at the same time, looking at what her insides look like is not necessarily the same thing as promoting whores in the women that you actually would want in a long-term relationship or would want to marry, right? Like, so I think like a component of this argument can just be broken down as this weird symbiotic relationship between content providers, thoughts, and the audience. They all derive value from each other, but the audience member gets entertained by being able to troll. And along with that troll, they want to see what them insides look like. I don't think that it necessarily means that that is continuing the cycle of modern women in society. What up, y'all? I was reviewing my comments here in the editing room floor, and while I still stand by what I just said, I can also see the other side, right? Because I tell men, vote with your dollar. And if you're voting on harlots, it can signal to decent women what we actually want. Now, I do think it's up to modern women to understand the difference of dudes wanting short-term entertainment, such as an OF sub or liking bare-ass pics on IG, versus what men are actually looking for in long-term relationships. But I do give credence, and I do understand how women can get mixed signals because of the data that they receive while scrolling on the gram.
It's fine. It's just knowing what element you're in. And these girls, you can call them whatever they want. It's a business to them, and as much as you can call Abba and preach gay, you're the fruit. They're harvesting you. You put in your dollars, and it's okay that you put your dollars.
The whole TradCon religious grift is funny too. Like
the what?
The whole like adherence to like religious ideas, but this obsession with whores. And the kind of women who constantly sell their bodies is like the majority of the people on these podcasts. It's funny because you would think that this red pill stuff has been around for a long time, but it seems like for most of the people involved, they still can't get women, they still can't get attention for women, and they still can't meet their goals. And so one of the funniest moments, someone sent me a clip, is like they were doing a live podcast and the audience members showed up, and then they asked them a question.
Show of hands if you're currently in a relationship. Okay.
Stupid.
So half the audience. Show of hands if you're single. Okay. Oh. Now, for all the single dudes out there, raise your hand if you want a girlfriend or a wife or a girl in your life. Show of hands. Okay, so the most of you want a girl in your life. Show of hands if you want to do the Myron approach and have multiple wives. Okay. Now,
motherfuckers who can't get one girl want to have multiple.
It's a goal. It's a goal.
It's a pipe dream.
It's a goal. If you want to go to Broadway, but you can't get one audition, you still want to get to Broadway. I'll give them that.
And this is what I'm saying. This whole ideology is funny because it's supposed to do all this self-improvement stuff and it's supposed to get results. But you see, most of the people who attend can't get them, and then they have a pipe dream that's so out of reach. It's like, you're not even built for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I hear Abba begin to talk like this is when I begin to disagree with him when in regards to the red pill. Just because you're single right now doesn't mean that you can't have a goal of having multiple partners later. And the fact of the matter is like, I've actually changed with this within my life as well. When I was in my 20s, I was more so like, yeah, you know, this polyamory thing actually sounds exquisitely well. But as I get closer to my 40s, this idea of having multiple mouths around me just doesn't really seem as appealing as what it once was. And I'd also argue if you polled dudes that didn't listen to Fresh and Fit's audience, a lot of the young 20-year-old dudes would probably raise their hand at the same rate. People change over time. I mean, shit, look at Dan Bilzerian, all them chicks around him, and then you've seen him on podcasts recently talking about that he just wants one.
when I was there and I had 27 girls and I like couldn't keep up with it. Always thought more was better. And I got to this point where it just wasn't. And I realized like, okay, like I've gone to the end of the fucking road with this and this isn't really like what's going to make me happy. So I need to kind of like shift focus and do something else. So back to Thailand, you know, I was like, I don't know, man. I just, you know, I sent a couple of the girls home and I was just like happy, you know, hanging out with her.
Young men can have dreams, Abba, all right? Stop trying to be a dream killer.
All right, all this talk about we help people get in healthy relationships and maintain lengthy marriages and all this other stuff, you realize, no, there's just a bunch of men who are living in a delusion of having a harem, right? They think they can just indulge all day long. So whether it's hating on these whores, whatever, most of the stuff is just smoke and mirrors. They don't have any actual real set goals that are reasonable, and they don't actually have a real view of women that is actually functioning in real life. They stand beside a keyboard, they go whore, 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 and then they click on the OnlyFans to subscribe. So all this talk about being pimps and all this other shit, you realize that this whole platform is just to allow men easier access to women so they can simp harder.
Oh, shit.
All this hating, all this talk, all this stuff is really just a reflection of themselves. The reason why they say all that foul shit to women is because they don't feel good about themselves. Because any dude who gets women, any dude who likes women and doesn't talk that way.
It actually reminds me of the Endure guy in the comment sections of these videos calling a woman fat after getting liposuction himself.
Can somebody tell me what I said that everybody's so upset about that I'm still waiting on?
What was the example that, just to be clear?
I'll do the three. Was it three? Nah, I'm pretty sure it was, is this chick supposed to be attractive? 1. 2, she's 40 pounds too heavy.
Yep.
XYZ, something about weight. I wouldn't listen to her. Like, you just went on a rant. It was like.
How do you know that that was him, though?
Because it was his name with the check mark in the chat.
Do you recall doing that?
I guess so.
Well, apparently, this joker went and had liposuction. This guy shames a woman for what he thinks is overweight as a way to project his own insecurities regarding his own weight onto her.
So does Abba have a point? I think that he does. And the data goes to show it from that girl getting 1,200 signups right after leaving.
So really a lot of it is just self-loathing, and then that self-loathing is projected outwardly because you're like, I'm inadequate. Well, fuck these whores, it's their fault. Rather than taking a look in the mirror and realizing like, yo, you know what? I wouldn't fuck me either. I wouldn't even look at me either. What have I done to get these women to be interested in me? I just think the obsession with whoredom is funny to me when the kind of women these dudes constantly clamor after, subscribe to Instagrams, or pay for OnlyFans are women with ridiculous butts, ridiculous size inflated balloon titties, ridiculous looking lips. Everything is surgically done. You know, it's interesting that that's what they hate, but then that's all they jerk off to or subscribe to or pay for. There's an interesting thing there.
One of the concepts that I've always maintained on this channel is delete these chicks out of your search history. Don't give them the time of day. Vote with your money. And the concept of a fresh and fit is one of which that you don't think there would be a promotion of these girls, but I understand that there has to be something lucrative in them in order for them to be up on the show being berated for that amount of time. But at the end of the day, the girls that will go and do live shows like that don't really care about the topics or issues at hand. They mostly want to be validated by talking about themselves, and then also from a business perspective and opportunity, which I think is one of the ways that this really separates what you see from a Fresh and Fit versus what you saw from Kevin Samuels. Now, while at the same time a Fresh and Fit and a Kevin Samuels achieve similar goals in helping men understand their power as modern men in society today, Kevin didn't have any type of positive value or metric given to those that call in, but it seems that to get women into a live studio audience, you promote their Instagram in order to be able to do that, and then that's where the benefit is the ride back to them. Inevitably, I don't think there's gonna change anything about Fresh and Fit. I don't think that they care about this shit because, like I said before, it's a symbiotic relationship that works in their best favor. What I also think is interesting about this video as well is that Abba and Preach do seem a lot more respectful now that Fresh and Fit has showed that they're crazy as shit in their response to them. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting as well. So now it seems like they're talking about them without actually going deep in and clowning and making fun of them. So, all right, guys, let me get up out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed today's reaction. What do you guys think down below? Should Fresh and Fit change some of their standards and requirements? Should they not advertise these women? What do you guys think? Drop me some comments down below and we'll have a discussion about it.